Speedrunning has become a very popular subcategory within the gaming space for many years now, and even more so as live platforms like Twitch have risen sharply in popularity over the last decade. If you've never heard of it and clicked on this video anyways, speedrunning is typically defined as trying to complete a video game from start to finish in the shortest possible amount of time, with any glitches or tricks usually being fair game. Right off the bat, it's easy to see how someone would approach this in, for example, Nintendo games like the Mario and Zelda franchises, as both lend themselves to many different glitches and exploits that can help the player progress through the game extremely quickly. But what about Clash Royale? I mean, can you really even beat the game to begin with? Would that just mean reaching 9,000 trophies? Maybe just 4,000? Or is it something else entirely? If it is a trophy count or something similar, how would people even grind out attempts, since it would likely take multiple days to even reach those milestones? Well, let's answer all of those questions and more as we dive into the confusing but impressive world of Clash Royale speedruns. If you're someone who's more familiar with the speedrunning scene already, it won't surprise you to hear that beating a game as quickly as possible, often referred to as the any percent speedrun of a game, is not the only category of speedrun. Usually even more traditional games like Mario will have multiple other categories like 100% completion or the fastest time to reach a certain section of the game. Clash Royale speedruns mostly revolve around certain tasks within the game due to the restrictions we mentioned earlier, with the most popular way to speedrun the game being the finish battle category, where the timer starts when the match finishes loading and ends as soon as the battle is over. It's easy to see why this category is the most popular, as it's super easy for anyone with a cell phone or tablet to boot up the game and try to complete a match quickly. As I'm sure you may have guessed already, top contenders for the world record all use the exact same strategy as each other to complete the match in under 10 seconds. The strategy involves one high level player and another player who is only level 1. Once the two players start the match, the high level player will immediately use a lightning spell on the low level player's tower and place wall breakers at the bridge on the same side. The low level player will then immediately use a tornado to pull the wall breakers to his tower, which does enough damage to instantly destroy it. I should also mention that the rule set for this category states that almost any battle type is allowed for the speedrun, so any serious runner uses the sudden death game mode, as this allows for the match to end as soon as just one tower is destroyed. Unfortunately, timing and rankings on the leaderboards for this category are only measured to the second, with no sub-second timing available, meaning there are many people who are tied due to getting the same amount of seconds in their time. As you can see, the world record holders who completed a match like this were able to do it in just 6 seconds, with the second place time being 7 seconds, 8 seconds for third, and then 8 people tied for 4th place at 9 seconds. If the timing allowed for sub-seconds, this category would be a bit more competitive and viable to actually speedrun, at least for a while. Another element of the speedrun that makes it a bit harder to grind out is luck, or what is commonly referred to as RNG in the speedrunning community. I mentioned before that the high level player needs wall breakers and lightning, and the other player needs tornado. Well, to get the fastest time, you would want all 3 of these cards in the player's starting hands, which seems easy, but if you actually do the math, it comes out to only about 10% of the time that both players will have the correct cards to complete the strategy. Between this RNG factor and the fact that you need access to a level 1 account and a high level account, getting a world record isn't as easy as it might seem at first. The speedrun also doesn't feature any glitches, since Clash Royale is a mobile game that receives frequent updates, meaning any potentially helpful glitches would just get patched away, which would prevent players from using them. One of the other popular categories to speedrun is the training camp category, where timing starts upon clicking the king's "Welcome to Clash Royale" message and ends when the completed indicator goes green in the main menu. First things first, any runs before December 12th of 2022 are disqualified, since the training camp was reworked on that day to have only 3 levels rather than 5. The current world record just barely finishes under the 2-minute mark at 1 minute 59.9 seconds. The runner, Jongnu, starts out by matching as quickly as possible through the introductory text when starting a new account. He then continues this trend of simply mashing his fingers on the screen as fast as possible with the troops and arrows in the first battle, so that they are placed at the first possible moment when he has enough elixir. The other 2 battles are more of the same, with a ton of mashing to get the optimal placement of any troops and spells. This run also involves the aforementioned RNG element, since your starting hand is still random and some troops are better than others for completing the tutorial quicker. Jong was barely able to achieve a sub 2-minute time with the help of solid luck in all 3 rounds and some impressively fast mashing skills. In case you're curious, this category does include the milliseconds for all submitted runs, and the second place player, Little Chef 27, has a time that's only 0.4 seconds slower than Jongnu. The next notable category for Clash Royale speedruns is perhaps the most unique and interesting of them all, as this category forces the player to make clever use of free special offers that are granted in the game to get more cards and reach level 3 as soon as possible. This is because the next category's objective is simply to join a clan, which requires the player to be at least level 3 first. So the world record speedrun of 2 minutes and 41 seconds by Dr. Pando MD features some quick mashing to get through the training camp tutorial as quickly as possible to start. Once this is done, Pando quickly rolls to the shop tab and purchases some free special offers that were available at the time, allowing him to get enough cards to upgrade his Knight and Giant a few times. He then returns to the deck tab and does exactly that, upgrading each card multiple times as quickly as possible to level up to level 3, then quickly switching to the clan tab and joining a random clan without skipping a beat. Nobody else on the leaderboard is particularly close to beating Pando's time for now, but if someone was desperate enough, it is possible they could buy an in-game offer that actually costed money to try and squeeze a couple of extra seconds out of the run, but let's be honest, who would actually dedicate their precious time and money to that? If you want to check out the runs mentioned in this video, I've linked the speedrun.com page as well as each of their runs in the description below. Feel free to browse through the speedrun.com page to see the other categories on the site as well, as I didn't have time to cover everything in this video. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next video.